I'd love to get another jelly nut farm up and running, and I think this is where we'd probably do it. And then another Yumako mash farm, maybe over here. Maybe 2 jelly nut farms somewhere in this area. Especially now that we've got the soil for it. Like these areas are quite nice, but of course this massive nest around there. I'd probably need stronger firepower to take those on, but this area down there, very, very nice. 2 of them, in fact. Could have 2 farms there, but we'd have to see. We're going to be waiting for the train to come back first. That's done. That's done. How much did you get in there? Not a whole lot. Good. It's on its way. Hello. Look at those little wings. Cute. Please don't tell me I'm on the line. I'm not. I'm safe. Alright. Four of those. 4 of those. Good enough for me. So also said, Lady Sheila, we need a gamba. Blue believers or gleeful gleebers? Gleeful gleebers? God damn. Alright, calm down. Actually, we are going to need to set this up, though. Because I can't actually... Yeah, I don't have the means to initiate this. Balls. So I am going to need to properly test it. So I want the Biofactory... Biogenesis module. If I've got enough stuff for it, then... You know what? Keeping this down here will actually be useful. Since it'll allow me to definitely test everything. I'll help. Aavak, help. In that case, I'm not going to need this then. Oh, I technically need that. This I'll need, but... Finish building everything? No. Can we? Okay. System is fully built. So there's going to be a real test run. Kind of excited. Alright, everything in. Go, go, go. Now, since I'm not testing the end of the line, I will just take this away. Oh, damn it. I wasn't passing that signal yet. Oh, silly of me. Okay. Let's see if there's enough fruit down here to be enough to start it. Also, I'm not super stoked about the amount of Yumako mash that ended up on that side. But I suppose it isn't the worst thing. Now, normally, this would need to be running for like a good couple of minutes before all of this processes. Do I have some spoilage to kickstart it? I do. Because I don't have the fruit to sustain how this would work. There we go. Gonna need another one. Needed more mash. Yeah, like I said, I don't quite have the fruit that would be coming in off train. I'm just grabbing a couple of stacks. So this is just emulating the belt being filled by a train that's recently stopped. Now, what we're not seeing is all of that getting down here, sadly. These will now be able to do the rest of the mash processing. They're far more efficient at it. All we need is a little bioflux to get past. Is that ever going to happen? How much can you store? Stores a lot. Roger. Wasn't expecting that this would be as thorough of a test, but okay. But given how long fruit lasts, I might want to loop that back, perhaps. Because that's effectively all I'm doing right now, is just looping it back. This is now full of nutrients. It cannot put any more on the line. So this will start filling up. There we go. Now, as long as these nutrients last just a few more moments, the system will kick in. 1, 2, 1, 2, 1. There we go. Nutrient production is online. Oh. That should not be filtering. Like, as in, it shouldn't be filtering at all. It's a... Oh, wait. No, it was. Ah. Okay. Gonna need to move these around a little bit. So that one needs to come down here. That one does need to filter for bioflux. So I need to update that. And then I need one that will pull in nutrients. Go. Now at this point, it's actually going to just jam all of those, all that bioflux down there. So I'm going to go and grab some more fruit. But we do need to update that part of the blueprint. Take care, Windy Forson. I may as well just grab it all. I'm very sorry to the factory who I'm stealing all this stuff from. I need it, okay? Oh, thank goodness. You're back. That'll do. You'll be heading straight back out for jelly nuts in a moment. Anyone got in chat got advice for scaling up, says Zancrast. I've been to all the planets and kind of brute forced them, but none are self-sustaining or automated. Well, that's kind of why I'm still on Kleber, really. Is that I'm trying to make a self-sustaining factory down here. Spoilage going through the system. I could even wire this up, actually. How much does this use? And how much does it stack to? 200. If this is above one entire stack, then you can let... Oh, nutrients rotted on the line. But that doesn't matter. This area doesn't need nutrients anymore. This whole system doesn't need anything like that. So now... all we need to see is... oh, it's on the wrong side. Oh, well, crap, that's unfortunate. If I had a little bit more space, I could do this. But we're going to do it like this instead. So... I could do it in a bit more of a pretty way, but this is a really tight design now. I'm not super pleased with that, I'll be honest with you. There we go. But we're finding flaws in the system, and that's what this is all for. I basically need that balanced. It always has to be on the top side, and this always has to be on the far side. But if this were... if I doubled these up, it would have to work differently. Actually, another way of doing this is a little bit more sustainable, I think. Is this? Well, no, it still causes a problem if I had 2 lines of this. Well, no, because if I had 2 lines and I was snaking, this could come out on this side. It would be... I might want to redesign this part regardless, just to make sure that it can do its job in a more elegant way. But down here we are producing plastic, I'm assuming. Oh. Did I never set this up for the with the recipe. My bad. There we go. Plastic being produced. Seeds also being gathered. Alright, so there's a couple of places where I need to add some more efficiency. Namely this area. The fact that ultimately I want this to be on both sides of this belt. I think that is going to be on a case-by-case basis, though. Either that or... Yeah, if this required more here, this would be built a little bit differently. But for the most part, this seems to work. Oh, and Aavak, I just finished making work for the day. I don't need to hear even more clogged pipes. Oops. Okay. Well, I'm largely happy with how this is working. I'm going to re-stamp this. No tiles. There we go. With all of its modules and the new circuitry. Save blueprint. The Mito core does need to be restamped. I'm going to say this can move down a little bit. This gives me a little bit more room to play with. As for this section here, yeah, I think I just need to retool this depending on what configuration of... I mean, this is what I always knew. That there would be times when I need more nutrients or more bioflux, and for those instances, I would have to rejig this. So for the time being, I'm going to say this is okay. Let's get rid of the temporary things I just threw in. So the Mito core is now built to be able to handle that situation. I think we took care of everything else. There we go. And then I'll adjust this as need be based on the situation I'm facing. So save that blueprint. As for this, I also want efficiency in these. These I want productivity on, though, because they're the end product. Need to go and get some. Actually, no. Given that it is still a biochamber, I'll still use efficiency. I can always put a productivity on a need basis. But let's default to efficiency. So, is there anything else I need to do here? Do I want to control? Do I want to put a control into this that will prevent any more resources being brought in? I'm not sure I do. I think at this point, the whole idea is just keep putting stuff into this, but I guess for very low consumption resources like sulfur, I might not want all the jelly nuts sat on the, or rather, actually no, sulfur's spoilage, so I guess not. I mean, I'm probably going to be making plastic fast enough to use this before it just goes bad. Is it too late to mention beacons? I'm not going to be trying to optimize this for beacons. Just because I don't tend to use beacons anyway. But I have kind of had them in mind a little bit. I just can't think of a really convenient way to utilize them. Because I need double belts around most of the factories. I mean, I guess here wouldn't be a terrible place to do it. I could put the beacons just kind of nestle. 1, 2, 3, 1, 2. I could still use a bridge there, I guess. But I wouldn't be able to do it here. You can't use quality beacons. Oh, actually, another thing. These only need 3 to be maximum efficiency. 4 of them is wasted. My bad. But yeah, in terms of beacons, you can only put productivity or speed in them. 1 productivity each would pull their efficiency down. If I had beacons, I could maintain their efficiency at minus 80% with like 1 productivity or even 2 productivity, possibly. But that is not the world that we live in. Much sadness. Excuse me, I've got something stuck in my throat. But yeah, it's just speed and efficiency in beacons. Speed might be a good one. There, and then this one. There we go. And then finally, this component, which is now our production of plastic in this case. I'll just call it bioplastic. The icon can be this and plastic. I'm not going to put in a description for these ones. I don't think that's necessary. But then we can expand it further. It would require, like, you know, it would be a variation on this blueprint, but I think that's fine. So yeah, plastic is done. Create blueprint. Punk. Okay, so this section is now complete. I can happily plonk this back down. Have it just pull all of the rot out. Next up, we will... You know what? For the sake of the test, I think I'll have these merge onto a single line. Head up here. Anything that is rot can go down there. Let's get rid of all of that. And then I'm going to bring everything back down here. Import priority will be left. Yep. New power armor. Very nice. This is probably similar to what I will do in the finished system as well. We want... this. I don't know how I keep losing that, considering how much I'm making use of it. There we go. So that'll now be in an endless loop until it eventually expires. I could do exactly the same thing here. I wish that had copied. There we go. Input priority should be here. Oh, right. No, I need that there instead. There we go. And then a regular one. Actually, no, we want this one. There we go. And input should be from the right. Since this will have bioflux on it, it makes sense for this to also... Am I out? Oh, man. It also makes sense for that to have... to be returned to the belt. Right, let's head back to Nauvis. How's Nauvis doing? Are you done with the batteries that I needed? It looks like you are, so we are now onto shields. There we go. At this rate, the rocket silo will be finished soon. I say that with great optimism that I do not deserve because it's probably nowhere near. It's halfway on the steel and getting there on the concrete, but it is taking a time. Hello, I'm not supposed to be here, but I am anyway. Hey, Tiny Eric, thank you very much for the tier 2, mate. I hope you're having a good day. Right. I would like more belts. Go. Now this one needs to be on that line. There we go. All right. Now then. Were we done with this one? Were we done with the sulfur? Sorry, the plastic. Bioplastic. I think we were. I'm actually going to change the name. So it's Biogenesis, the Mitocore. I could call this plastic core, sulfur core. Biogenesis core. This is kind of like the various cores for GLaDOS. I will just go with bioplastic. Funny as it would be. No. Save. Right. Okay, so the next up then. That was the only one I think that uses MASH until we get to carbon fiber, which I don't have access to yet. So how about we do the 2 rot recipes? Because they're going to be fairly simple. In fact, they're basically not going to require anything but nutrients and bioflux. Well, and only then for the sulfur. So this is going to be super simple. We're going to lose this entire section here. So with that, yeah, we are actually going to lose that entire section. So this becomes, let's go for biosulfur. Take this section out. Don't need that. Don't need that. This would be for sulfur. This would still need to remove any rot. The rot down there. Now, this stuff we don't actually get rid of. Once rot is here, it can stay. There's no issue with that. I'm not sure if this is going to be enough for our sulfur needs, but I suspect it will. Now, the rot is still going to need to be taken out of these because it won't automatically get reinserted. And that's why I set this up the way I did, is so that any refuse taken out on the waistline can have an opportunity to be reinserted on this side. So in that case, it would just be something like this. And we can simulate this by just popping some waste onto the line. But that should be able to make all of the biosulfur that we're going to need. Stem cells would also be a nice name for the basic production codes. That's actually a decent suggestion. But I think just going with bioplastic, biosulfur for now will keep things a bit more clear for me. Right, let's throw some fruit on the line. Oh, they still had some nutrients. Nice. Oh, in fact, we still had nutrients down here. None in there, though, sadly. I guess the fruit lasts for an age, though. So that makes sense. Oh, unfortunately, it comes back round on that side. You know what? Let's pop this down here, then. That way everything ends up in the middle again. Why are you running? Oh, you need a tiny amount of bioflux in order to get started. This would be the reason why we would specifically want to shut this down, is because whilst that is running, it is going to fill this line with an enormous amount of nutrients. It's a bit irritating, but I'm just going to leave it for now. But there was a reason why having them very specifically use one or t'other was the right way to go. Thankfully, we've got plenty of fruit over here. I say there's not plenty of fruit really. That will do. Let's try not to get run over. Was I making shields back on Novice? Yeah, we are making shields. What are you waiting on? You're waiting on the steel of all things, really. Do I just not have anywhere that pulls steel off the line? Wow. There we go. That'll help. You know, I can even put the rot on here and it'll get pulled out in the correct place. Right, well, just watch. See if this system can start... Actually, I could steal one. Mine. That should shut these down from pulling more in. Oh no, because this has actually hasn't got enough in it. Now it should stop them. Nope. There. Yep. Now, does this do what I needed to do? Is the question. I need rot. A lot of rot. We need the bioflux. It needs to fill this line first. I could tell it not to give priority to that, but I think this is good. There we are. Sulfur is being produced. Good to go. All right then. Time to stamp this. Actually, let's take this a little further down. So we now want to stamp all of this, I'm going to say. Actually, let me just check. How did I stamp... bioplastic? I did include the bridge, so that's fine then. This is biosulfur. Why with pH? My lord. Right. Off that. And we want sulfur. Oh, I even use an E. Sulfur. There we go. Nice and simple. Create blueprint. Add it to the book. And now the second one is just as easy to do. And it is to switch these across to spoilage. Sorry, to carbon. all we need to do is that. Oh. Right. Well, we'll correct this problem now. Use filter. Anything that isn't spoilage. Carbon. Carbon. I need more mash. Sadly, we've burnt through most things now. Let's drop that off. Tank, can you take me up there? I feel ever so slightly less likely to die to a train collision. Probably more likely. Because the confidence, you know. But let's pull in here. What are you... Oh, fantastic timing. Thank you. Also, let's get these out of my inventory. Alright. Working on uranium ammo currently. Laser shooting speed wouldn't be a terrible one. Lab research speed, probably not necessary considering our poor setup. All of that is... I could get insert capacity boost? Sure. We'll grab you. It's 2,000 research. That's 350. 600. And I guess, sure, we'll get stronger braking force on the trains. But yeah, we use up the jelly so much slower. I think having more Yumako farms is going to be a big thing, but that being said, the jelly gets consumed at an enormous rate the second you start making lubricant with it, because it uses 60 a pop. I just want to make sure that this system functions. I know, it's all kinds of cabins. Let's pop. Punk. That is a good point, though. This does need to specify. Though I'm not going to be blueprinting this part, this does actually need to specify that, hey, only spoilage goes in this direction. Why is that not getting removed? Poop. Okay, noted. So I'm going to have to update that as well. This requires a tiny amount of fuel. It's not 100 kilowatts from fuel per second. Whereas nutrient is the equivalent of... Sorry, wrong thing. It's 2 megajoules. Yeah. So it's effectively 20 seconds of operation for each one nutrient we produce. And we produce crazy amounts of nutrients. We produce 60 nutrients a second. We are always going to be watching that spoil. But at this point, that system works. I do need to update my blueprint for the biosulfur. But as far as biocarbon goes, we're good. Blueprint. Right, yeah. Well, let's stamp that down. And then simply copy it again. Yep. Right, so those were the 2 rot recipes. The jelly gets consumed at an enormous rate. Me at Christmas. Fair. Have you tried Falgora? Probably my favorite planet. I haven't actually been to any other planet yet. This is the full extent of my knowledge of anything on other worlds, sadly. Oh, that's bad. I mean, it's nice to have this filled with rot. Sincerely nice, but the seeds just cause an issue. What I can do, read that tile, control this tile, and read from this chest. Alright, if green has rot on it, and rot in the red signal is less than 200, output stop. 1. Enable or disable if stop is equal to 0. That works. I'm gonna have to rejig this a little bit, but because I want the blueprints to basically be clean. But I did need to change that. So let's break this. Break that. And then update the biogenesis module blueprints. That works. So it's very hard to see the connection points, but that is hooked up correctly. And we'll see it by doing, if I just turn that for a second and I pop some of this on there. Oh. The signal on the red is less than 200. And there's something here. Oh, I'm not reading it yet. Oh, what a dummy. There we go. And if I were to have seeds or anything else on the other side, export this there. That's fine. But if I rotate that back around, it'll pull that off, and there we go. Okay, so that's now working. My bad there. This is why we test. This is why we test. This is why I'm making a point of testing each module individually right now. I don't want to get halfway through this and find out, oh, I forgot one tiny little thing, and I now need to redesign the entire bloody process all over again. There's certain things I accept. Like, I know that some parts of this factory are not designed to be standalone. Like, I'm going to have to adjust them with time. Go. But, like, you know, I'm going to have to tailor them to the amount of bioflux or the amount of nutrients needed by the other parts. And when I do that, I'm going to have to tailor the amount of fuel for those processes that is being developed, and likewise down here. But by and large, this system is working. Hey, Dr. Moriarty, how you doing? Oh my god, you poor man. Gleba first is purgatory. I'm actually finding it fun. I'm not going to lie. I'm really genuinely finding it fun. It is challenging, especially because I left the planet with... I didn't even have yellow science. I had just made purple science production at a very trivial amount because Bentham was insistent that I should have it. And, you know... fair. I wasn't looking to do a challenge. I was just like, I'm going to give chat the option to pick which planet we go to. And it was strongly advised. Well, it was strongly advised that I have both sciences and have, you know, finished a load of research before I went. But when I left, I had barely anything. And I still don't. I'm still kind of only researching some things. And I've spent several streams, like tens of hours on Gleba. This is my third redesign, and with each iteration on the factory, I feel I've understood the way to make use of the processes a bit better than I did the last time. As with everything, you know, the more you do it, the more you learn. But I feel that I am genuinely starting to understand it more and more now. And I'm very happy with that. Right, so... this is my Gleba 2.0. The first one was just one... It was one giant circuit, and nutrients would often rot, but you know, a little bit before they got to the end of the line. So I upgraded to blue belts, which is why the prevalence of blue belts here. This one was the idea of, well, let's just try and compartmentalize it a bit more, so I'm not having the nutrients circle around every single building, and instead they get peeled off when they're needed. And so this is kind of a halfway house between a loop that is more fitting for asymmetric consumption, but not quite fitting for the way that rot happens. Like the spoilage has required me to think about things in a very different way. But this is like midway between just a pure loop, asymmetric consumption, no thought paid to freshness really, and something which was trying to... It's still kind of in the asymmetric consumption kind of, let's use a loop, because I don't know how things are going to pull off the belt. But realistically, the more I've thought about it is, well, the thing at the front is going to be the oldest. And so really, I only need something to take off rot down there. I don't need to worry that it's going to rot mid-line, because under general operation, if something is pulled off the middle of the line, it still means the thing in front of it was the older and the thing behind it is younger. So it keeps the chronological order of things. So realistically, only the very end of the line should be rotting, unless you loop it back on yourself. Now, I am doing that a little bit with the fruit down here, but I feel there's things that last hours could do with going back through the line. It cuts down on waste. But this is my attempt at building a modular factory. I've got a couple of ideas right now. I've got the biogenesis module, which can literally reboot the organic part of the factory from just getting fruit inserted. It has about a 3-minute spool up, 3 to 5 minute spool up, but if all you're doing is giving it fruit, it can bring the factory back online and start outputting bioflux and nutrients by itself. Nothing else required but fruit. And then this is the core that is going to be at the beginning of each module. It's the mitocore. It pulls nutrients and bioflux off the line enough to kickstart its own internal production of nutrients and bioflux. It requires a delivery of fruit in order to keep those processes running, but like everything needs fruit, effectively. And then the end of the module is whatever end product I want that module to produce. So plastic, sulfur, carbon. I want to make this as automated and maintainable and also scalable a process as possible so that when I'm not on Gleba, I don't need to worry about it anymore. You know, everything's gonna work. But I imagine I'm going to kind of go through the process of trying to make every planet that I go to a sustainable planet. It might not do everything. Like I'm not compelled at all to bring science to Gleba. I'm going to take science off Gleba. But I'm trying to kind of exist in Gleba as best I can. So, for example, I'm going to have lots of smaller farms dotted around, and the train will visit the farm that was visited the longest ago, that was last visited the longest ago. That way, when the train shows up at a farm, it goes through a burst of activity, produces a bunch of spores, like this massive spore event, and then it'll go to sleep for a while because there won't be any more need for it to do anything. The train will probably be there long enough for it to replant all of its fields before the train leaves, and then it'll just go into a state of dormancy. And in the time, the idea is in the intervening time, just Gleba itself will have absorbed the spores, and so it's never really going to get to the point where I'm constantly being attacked by Glebans. I will, of course, have some defenses, but I'm trying not to make Gleba into just another Nauvis by having a giant square wall around all of my entire factory and you know, just artillery everything back to the Stone Age so that I can pollute as much as I want. I'm going for a more, I guess, sustainable approach. Can you make your own farms or deposits? They're somewhat of a mixture, Marnik wrong. So right now I have access to soil, which allows me to expand the farms that already exist. So there's 3 colors here. White, which is plantable soil. Fruit is already able to be planted on that tile. It's a little bit easier if I show this, actually. So you've got the bright green. That's the white tiles. Fruit can grow on there right now without any further effort. You got the yellow tiles, which are, I believe you need to add soil to those. So this is, well, you'll do it from here. White, there's already fruit there. I believe that's what it is. If we look down here. Yeah, fruit is already there. You've got the yellow, which is fruit could be there if it had the correct soil. And then like this stuff out here where it isn't the right biome. At least that's how I understand it. So this little patch here is the potential farm as it stands right now. I could plant a farm here and it would be able to farm this soil or part of it. If I put down the correct type of soil for that biome, then I could expand it out fully like I've done over here. This is a fully expanded tile. But it can only happen within this biome. But there is another type of soil. And I believe that interacts with the darker green here or the very dark purple over here. So that's overgrowth soil. And I would need stuff from a different planet to make that work. Gleben rights. Yeah. I'm thinking of making something that underproduces for what I make, and then when I have X amount of science packs stored, the entire thing shuts down and all the belts get put into a chest and be burnt off. Belts put in a chest to be burnt? You can burn belts? I'm at the making more and better spaceship stage, and it's the task of launching hundreds of rockets to build them that is putting me off. Yeah. Well, I mean, that's kind of where I want to be. I want to be at a point where Gleba is actually a fully functioning factory in its own right. It's just one that isn't... that's going to some lengths to not antagonize the natives. I just put artillery on Gleba. 15 guns to be precise. Well, that's what I want to avoid. I might do it. I might pop down some artillery, but they would be a artillery piece at a farm. I'm not going to try and build some sort of mega perimeter and have everything wiped out. Or I might just have an artillery train. Maybe on occasion, the artillery train will go in. For example, I could make it so that... because I can already make it so that defenses can kind of tell when they're being attacked. The easiest way is, am I losing repair packs? That's the easiest way to check. Have the repair packs in the local network gone down recently? If so, then something got damaged. If that happens, alert the artillery train. There must be a nest so close that it's causing issues. Artillery train rocks up, shells the nearby nests, artillery train leaves. You deal with the next wave, but then silence. Most of Gleba can be for the Glebans. I'm just going to need a couple of small patches for me. Right, well, now that works, I want to set this up at a couple of other locations. One there. And one down here. There we go. That'll let me know what priority the train stops are. Right. So that one was visited 5 minutes ago, this one was visited 2 minutes ago, and this one was visited 1 minute ago. Oh, interesting that it came down here, though. Did it? Oh, it needed something else. It's because... yeah, because I just used up one of the items that I've told it to keep in supply. Well, that being said, no, it shouldn't have been down here. Interesting. Why did you come here? Why did you come down here? Instead of the other one. That should have been the higher priority at the time. Maybe I'm just misunderstanding the way the priorities are set, and it's the lower number that works now? It used to be that it was the higher, I was sure. But, oh well. My farms are very close to the Gleba factory, so I just put 2 guns on each and end along with a layered in-depth defense. Similar to what Aavak does, but without the walls. The walls are useful, I think, because... I know it's going to sound stupid, but anecdotally, I think the Wrigglers are the more damage dealing. Let's have a look. So let's go with the small strafer. How much damage do you do? Damage 67.5 explosion. Firing rate of 0.5 a second. You've got the Stompers. 1 acid splash. Duration 2 seconds. Damage 1.5 acid a second for 2 seconds. Well, that was 32 seconds. Area of effect size 1.58. I don't think Stompers actually do that much damage. But Wrigglers 3.75 physical damage, and it does it 2.31 times a second, and there's usually a lot of them. It also does poison too. I genuinely think the Wrigglers cause me more damage than the Stompers do. I just need the Stompers not... because the Stompers take a long time to kill. So I've got basically decoy turrets out there to draw the Stompers' ire while the guns just unload on them. And that... since we've started doing that, the most I ever lose in a Stomper attack these days is like a power pole and sometimes a gun. Very uncommon. The Stompers that from what I've seen with Stompers, the biggest threat that they have is maybe, yeah, I mean, they probably do more damage than this, but it's the slowdown effect. You can't get rid of can't get out of the way of the things. That's what really messes you up, in my opinion. Is when you can't get away again. Oh, I hooked it up to the wrong thing. There we go. That's why it was giving me the wrong readout. Yeah. So the train is there, so it's currently got a 0 priority. Right. So, this is the sulfur core. Got that all sorted. But now it's time to start getting into other stuff. So what's the next item on our list of items? What's going on here? Right. There we go. Sorted. I'm going to have to do that at every location where I need something, so that it doesn't stall the rest of the line if it can't get out. Right. Anyway, I'll allow that to finish cleaning up. What's the next module? So we've got both of the rot recipes. We've got plastic, so that's pretty much the mash done. It's now on to the lubricant and the jelly. Jelly's going to need water. And lubricant will not, so let's start with lubricant then. Lubricant is 60 jelly. So, how much do you need a second? 20 a second. How much do you produce a second? 12 a second. So I'm going to need 2 for 1. Okay. I'm going to plan for wanting 2 of these. Mind you, it makes 20 lubricant a second. How much lubricant do we use? 50 a second. 50 a second. 50. 25 a second. Okay, fine. 1.5 a second. Okay, at least you're reasonable. Okay. I will build it for 2. But that means we're going to need 4 of these. Alright. We'll scale it for that much. I'm going to need more room, though. Yeah, I'm rarely running the machines that need lubricant at 100%, but that also means that the lubricant production line will stall fairly quickly, so it should be fine. To be honest, the blue belt I set up initially because I was trying to deal with the fact that nutrients were rotting on the line, so I just tried to make the belt faster. But at this point, probably unnecessary. You know what? Maybe I could just get away with not using it that much. Still, it's probably good practice to set this up for something like that. So let's go ahead and redesign this. So first, yoink. We'll come all the way down there. This is going to be a fairly extensive redesign, to be fair. So let's grab all of this. Take all of this out for now. It's going to be one of the more extensive redesigns, definitely. Right, going to want that gone. Also going to want to break this down. No longer using this one. This one's going to be for jelly. So it'll be coming in from there. For the time being, I'll just dump everything onto that line. It'll be a lot faster if I do it that way. Oh, are we full? We might be full. Certainly seems it. Right. So, first things first. Once that's all gone. Okay. This is going to be a tunnel. This will journey outwards. This is going to be set up as jelly. There you go. And then I'm going to want to mirror this. Actually, first. Going to want jelly being output. Then mirror. All the way over here. There we go. This is the nutrient line. Waste line. And this needs to be filtered for rot. And now the thing is I could make it so that if I ever back up completely, it just stops letting the fruit onto the line so it doesn't get consumed. Maybe this is the one that is going to convince me to do that. Because it is just a little bit of code. It's not complicated. I would need some way of measuring that I've got too much. In the case of a regular thing that's outputting an item, it's just checking whether it can get rid of the item or not. In the case of a liquid like lubricant, it would be checking some sort of storage tank nearby. Yeah, you know what? I think I'm probably going to do that. I think that is going to be necessary ultimately. Oh my goodness. On the plus side, I'm going to have a bunch of gubbins that I can take back. Drop off. Right, there we go. So, this will produce all of the jelly. The jelly will go this way. And out. Then simply we want lubricant. I can honestly just bring the jelly. Well, no, because I'm loading it on the side there, so that wouldn't be ideal for me. Pop it there. Well, no, that would still work. Since I'm not going to have an output belt the way I normally would, I can instead do this. Come across like so. Actually, I want this one. There we go. And we're going to need another power. There. We will want something along these lines. Waste goes up this side, comes down this side. And the jelly goes in. That irritates me enough that I am going to waste a little bit of space in order to make sure that it doesn't irritate me. I know, but shh, it's okay. Chat, calm. It's fine. I know that made many of your brains itch. I would like to say I'm sorry, but I'm not. But I will say you will survive. It's okay. I mean, at this point, I can't filter for not lubricant. There we go. All right. That should... Actually, let's move this. Could we make this better? I think perhaps we could. Actually, yeah. Amazingly, that does actually work. It's a bit tighter than I would like, though. I'm not entirely sure that I appreciate that. I mean, it's undeniably efficient. No. No. I don't like it. It would work, but I don't appreciate it. So we will go with the much less space efficient version. Sad, I know. But it has a certain uniformity that I like. Also, I need to get rid of the jelly if it gets this far. Oh, actually, I can just put it up here if that's the case. There we go. Okay, that should produce lubricant. Now all I need is a control switch. And if I'm honest, I would prefer that to be above. So that I'm not relying on taking things off to the side in order to check. So that way this can be kind of tiled quite close. Maybe I should do that for the others as well. Actually have them output upstream. No. No, because some of them require two items in the middle, I think, don't they? That one doesn't. That one does. Yeah. Okay, yeah, we won't do that. I'll take it out to the side. But considering how much jelly this will consume and how horribly fast it does it. Oh, actually, I don't need a tank here, thinking about it. I can just check if these have got jelly, lubricant in them. Yeah, that works. So, I would like to check if there's lubricant stored. Read contents. Both of these. Now what would happen is I would shut down importing of jelly nuts to this section so that I stop producing and wasting the jelly. If I can't use the lubricant, then I shouldn't be converting fruit into jelly, because I will still do that. Like, it'll be made into jelly, then the jelly will rot, then more jelly will be made, and the jelly will rot, and it'll just keep wasting it. To a certain degree, it's true of the bioflux and the nutrients as well, but I mean, it is true of the nutrients. I mean, I guess I could shut down all imports of fruit to the module if it reaches that point. How about we don't program that in? Either that, or I could retool the Mito core to also do it. I guess. A little decider up here somewhere that will control that behavior. If lubricant is greater than, or if lubricant high at all, does it tell me how much that can build up? Does not. I would want to send a command. So I would want it to be a... Ooh, this one's already hooked up to red, is it? I don't think that one's hooked up to this, no. That hooks straight up outside. Okay, that's fine. So what I would do, I would have... If lubricant is above, I guess, 20... There's more than 20 here, then both of them have output their amount and it's not gone anywhere. Maybe if I made it 20 or 30. It's not getting out of this fast enough. And I want to output stop working. And if stop working reaches this point, then this enable only if stop working is equal to 0. And I could add that function in here as well. Okay, we're fine. I could add a pump to make sure the pipes are drained. Yeah, that's a good point, actually. That would be well worth it. But I should check that I've not told the system to stop working before I request more from the bootstrap. So I'm going to put in a final one down here. So instead of that connecting up, I'm going to have this one connect up to it. And this one is just going to be connect those across. I know it doesn't look like much, but if not working is being received, it's going to check not working there on the red wire, and if that has been received, just I guess let the input count out. The alternative is I could just wire it into this, but I don't want to have to cross these cables. So this works for me. Yeah. As long as I've not told it to stop working, it's allowed to output whatever signal it's getting from this one. And then that goes down the line. That works a bit better for me. But you're right, we should add in a pump to make sure that these are emptying out as fast as they can. Well, that being said, I could just have a pump pulling the liquid from elsewhere as well. That would do it fine. I don't need to add it into this particular part. There we go. Let's go back up. I think this should work. We need to see it in operation, but I think it should work. Let me first... Oh, well, no, I do want to make sure that it actually is working before I do that. We would want this as soon as they're passed, so honk. There we are. And this is also an opportunity for me to test this as well. There we go. Oh, they already had nutrients. Okay. I'm going to need to go and grab a massive full inventory of gubbins in order to test this properly, and I may as well bring all of this stuff with me. Actually, let's do it from the tank. No, don't kidnap me, you scoundrel. Let's go. Where's the train? Train's not coming my way, so I should be fine. I'll wait for the train to get back first. I could help you out, couldn't I? I mean, I could, but I'm not going to. Let's load you up. I know. I'm stealing all the fruit. You only just brought it back, but I need to test.